Wow, time flies. And you know, the last 10 months have flown faster than I expected they would. It was about a year ago that I felt like life was more about chasing dead ends and trying to figure out what God had in mind next. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed working for the Perth Mint, which was where I was at the time. It's just I felt God telling myself and my family that it was time for something new. I didn't know what that was. Was it a new employer? Were we to move to a new city or even a new country? And then, out of the blue, came the opportunity to be part of the team here at the WA conference as Chief Financial Officer. I can now, looking back, say that this was definitely an answer to prayer. And I'm really enjoying the challenges and demands of this role. I'd like to share with you, as members of our conference, some of the financial highlights and plans that we've got at our conference for 2015, this new year. You know, I love talking numbers, so if ever you've got a question or you'd like some more information about what is happening with our church in WA, please give me a call. Happy to take your call, happy to have a chat. First of all, I want to talk about tithe. Tithe receipts in 2014, we had a budget as an executive of a bit over $7.5 million. And we were concerned at times that we weren't sure if we were going to reach that budget. In the end, we actually received almost $25,000 more than budget. So thank you very much for your faithfulness, and we praise God for His blessing us with these financial resources as a conference. Our budget for tithe receipts in 2015 is about 1.5% more than the 2014 result. You know, tithe is the largest source of funds for resourcing our ministries here in WA that we provide to you as members and to local churches. So any significant movement in that tithe income does severely affect what can and can't be done in our conference. I've included some graphs that show the growth in tithe over the last 5 years and also the growth in the members of our church here in Western Australia over a 5-year period. Both those graphs include the budget and the estimate for 2015, and you can see some good growth there. I believe personally that tithe received at the conference is provided by God through His church members. And our job as employees is to be wise servants and stewards with how we spend and use those resources that He provides. Our conference executive are always grappling with the future and ways to fulfil the Adventist Church mission in Western Australia. A number of key strategic initiatives have been planned for 2015. I'd like to just share some of them. First of all, in regards to evaluation, you know, continual improvement is important. And this year, Andrew Skeggs is going to move into the full-time role of Personal Ministries Director. And he'll be encouraging local churches to participate in what we call the natural church development process. And this leads a church to find out ways that it can improve church health at a local level. Steve Goods is going to move into a full-time role as well as Ministerial Association Director. And he'll be working with each of the local church ministers, looking at implementing improvement and development in their role and in their working with the church at a local level. On top of that, our conference admin team are also making sure that we're looking for ways to improve the way we do our roles and our performance, and as such we're going to work through an evaluation process this year as well. You know, new development is always exciting, and so also on top of that it allows facilities and capacity in our conference to be expanded. And so plans are moving ahead for a number of things to happen this year. First of all, additional cabin accommodation is going to be built at the Busselton campground, increasing the amount of campers we can have on site. And also the Adventist Residential Care are working on their next big stage, and the board there are starting the planning for that major development stage on the Rossmoyne site. On top of that, some local churches are going to start receiving their bright new roadside signs this year, with more to come in following years. These signs include the new orange-coloured logo, and that design and logo is being rolled out in a standardised way across Australia by the South Pacific Division and the AUC. As well, our Adventist Schools WA board are looking for ways to improve the way that their board governs the education system here in Western Australia. And the way that they're planning to do that this year is to look at implementing what we call the Carver Policy Governance Model. We believe by implementing that model, it will allow that board to be much more effective in their role as governors of the education system. Resourcing is important, And increased availability of resources allows for good planning and action to become sustainable. So this year, 3 conference departmental leaders are moving from volunteers to become paid employees of our conference. And like I've said earlier, another 2 departmental directors are moving from part-time to full-time roles. Another thing that's really important to me is making it easier for us as members to be able to give financially to God's work. So this year, in addition to the e-giving websites that we've got available, our conference is also going to be releasing an app which will allow members to donate tithe, offerings and other types of donations to the conference via PayPal, BPay or Payway directly from your smartphone or device. You know, our conference has had a financial surplus for each of the last 2 years. And the 2015 budget is actually from a slightly modest deficit of about $130,000. With tithe growing less than 2% annually and costs increasing by more than 2%, it's difficult to make that budget balance. However, for the last 2 years, we've also planned for deficit budgets, but in reality, we've ended up with surpluses because we find that God blesses us in unexpected ways. We continue to live and act in faith. And this year, in 2015, it's going to be another exciting year in the West Australian Conference, and I am really looking forward to it.